What's going on, guys? This is gonna be bootcamp part one. I've made this video last night, and for some reason I don't know why, but the recording software was bugging out. So I'm going to try this again now on a new software. So it should be fine, should work well, and it looks like it is. So welcome to bootcamp part one. I'm not going to be teaching anything about the charts on this video. This video is going to be more of a kind of just a one-to-one talk. When I first started learning, I was learning from a mentor who made a bootcamp, and his first video was kind of similar to how I'm going to do this one. In the way that I'm not going to be teaching anything in this video, I'm going to be just having a one-on-one kind of conversation. Or I guess not one, well, one-to-one to each person, I guess, if more people, whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. So basically, yeah, day one of the boot camp. I've been super excited to make this video, and let's get started. So to begin with, I want you to understand that none of this is financial advice. I am not promising you that you're going to make any money. Majority of people statistically actually lose money day trading. But there are reasons behind it. It's not just that there's a random percentage of people who can suddenly day trade. There's reasons behind people who are profitable, and there's reasons behind people who are not profitable. Um, the main thing, though, that I really want to get across is that I'm going to be putting a lot of time into this boot camp, and I want kind of what I'm expecting from you in like kind of think of it as like a social contract in a way. Obviously, I can't enforce it. I'm not going to reach through your screen or track you down to make sure you're doing your homework, but I'm going to be putting a lot of time into this. And what I ask of you is that you put your full attention, you put your full effort, you proactively try to understand what I'm teaching you. Maybe you want to have a journal, maybe you want to write notes in it, maybe you probably should have a journal to write things down in, because it's insanely helpful. But yeah, just that you give me your full attention and your best effort to try to really understand what I'm going to be teaching you, because I don't have to do this. I don't have to be putting my time out here. I don't have to be doing any of it, but I want to do it to help people and to teach people how I trade, how I trade. So that's what I ask of you, is to just be proactive and to put forth your best effort and really try your best to learn what I'm trying to teach you. You know, put in the extra mile. Go the extra mile, put in the extra work. Make sure you're in your spare time, you're doing extra things to keep information fresh so you're learning. Maybe like almost I want to compare it to like college in this sense that you go to college and your professors are going to make sure you're doing your homework, and they're going to make sure you're studying, and you're going to do whatever. And in entrepreneurship and trading, it's not like that. I'm not going to make sure you're studying. Frankly, it doesn't affect me at all. The person it affects is going to be you in the long run. So I will ask you that you do it. Like I said, cannot make you do anything, and I wouldn't want to. So if you think you can do that, then I can work with you. If you think that you're just a little interested in kind of what trading is and whatever, and you're not going to put in the work and the effort that it really takes, then, I don't know if I can really work with you. I probably can't, honestly, because with such a small percentage of people who make it, it's like a necessary trait that you can really focus on something and give it your best effort. People who make the top 1% of anything, the top 1% of earners, are not people who are lazy. They are people who are hardworking, perseverant, proactive, disciplined. The list goes on of positive, good traits. And if they don't already have those traits, some people are, they are in a better position than others in terms of their mental, I guess, advantages. I'm not even going to say financial advantages. I mean, yeah, sure, that can help, but in trading, it really doesn't matter if you don't know how to trade. Your money's not really going to make much of a difference when it comes to day trading. So certain people can, maybe they're more disciplined than others. Certain people, maybe they're not. But the thing that the people do to kind of to kind of equalize the playing field is they do things on the side, like I said, that extra mile to add to their, whatever they're lacking. Maybe you need more discipline. So what are you doing on the side to make sure you're getting that? Maybe you aren't as smart. So are you studying extra time to make sure you're really understanding things? Are you, whatever it is, and they're making sure they're pursuing good routes and good avenues to make sure they're getting what they need in order to optimize their understanding of trading and, how to put it into practice. So all I'm asking you is that you give me your best shot and you give me everything you got, and then I can work with you. But if you can't do that, then I mean, I say this all the time. There's a difference between want and want. And what I mean by that is there's people who like I want to be a basketball star. I'd love to have the money and the fame and the ability to play at that level, and all the other things that comes with the money, whatever. That'd be awesome, right? Is that my desire? Is that my want to do all the work that comes with that, to go and put in 1,000 shots a day, 1,000 made shots a day at the gym, and be willing to practice every single day, multiple practices a day for hours on end every single day. Is that my passion? Is that what I really want to do? For me, it's not. I love playing basketball, but will I do it to that extent? No. And I have an extreme level of respect for people who have made it to the NBA because it takes a lot of work. But that's what I'm trying to say is there's a difference between want and want. And you can want to be a profitable day trader and you can want what that comes with in terms of the pros of it. Like you can want the pros of day trading, but do you want the cons that come with it? Because, are you the type of person who's going to take a loss and then take your entire account and send it on the trade because you can't handle it mentally? Are you the type of person who's going to um, FOMO into trades and lose extra money because you can't stand being out of the play. You can't, you need to be in a trade. You need whatever for your mind. You need to be mentally stimulated in that way. Or you're the type of person who can take a little bit and say, I'm going to sit this out. I'm patient. This setup's okay, but I'm not looking for okay. I'm looking for amazing and wait for that amazing setup. And that's really what it comes down to when it comes to trading is, how hard or how much do you want it? I knew I wanted to do trading when I started. Like I knew. I don't know what it was. I just clicked. And it wasn't like, you know, I knew everything right off the bat or I picked up everything like that. I'm not the smartest person in the entire planet, but you don't have to be. You just have to want it enough to be willing to put in the work in the areas that you're lacking in. For me, I was lacking in discipline. I tried to brute force my way through the markets and just, here, I'll get another combine here and I'll buy another funded account there and I'll buy another funded account there and I'll full port this one here and I'll do this here. And I tried to brute force it and it just doesn't work that way. But you have to be able to surrender the process and you have to want what it comes with. And that is hard for a lot of people. It takes a lot. It takes a very specific mindset and a very specific person to be profitable in day trading. Now, like I said, none of this is financial advice. I'm not saying that you're going to make money. I'm not saying that I'm not going to say anything because that's going to come down to you ultimately and, what you do and how you choose to go about it and et cetera. All I can do is say that I'm going to teach you my knowledge. A lot of people have asked me, how do you do what you do? How do you day trade? Can you trade for me? Can I give you money and you trade it and then you make $10,000 off of my $1,000 and then I give you $1,000 to be nice for doing it? And I'm like, no, I'm not doing any of that. Can you tell me what stocks to buy? No, I don't even trade individual stocks. Can you tell me what cryptos? No. Can you invest my money for me? No, I'm not your accountant. I'm not your financial advisor. I'm not anybody. I'm not a wealth manager. I'm none of that. That's not what I'm doing. I'm not here to do that for you at all. And understand that what I am here to do is to teach you what I know so you can, if you want it bad enough, have the possibility to do what I'm doing. And be able to have all the answers to those questions for yourself, giving you a fair shot at developing the skill for yourself that I've taken a lot of time to develop. But no, I'm not going to hand it to anybody and I'm not going to do it for you. And I can't. I would literally, what it comes down to is you. It doesn't come down to me and how much I can hand to you. It comes down to how bad you want it and how bad you want to learn it. Um, so yeah, it's just really important to understand that it's so beyond important to understand that if you don't want the bad that comes with it, then just get off this video and go do something else because I don't think trading is going to be for you. I don't think I can work with you if it's going to be like that. Um, at the same time, if you're somebody who really wants it, I can work with you. If you're somebody who is dedicated and who wants better for yourself and who is, you just you want it as bad as you want to breathe, is something Tom Platz used to say. And I really like that statement. But like that's what it takes surrendering to the process. It takes just not trying to brute force your way through it like I did. Or I mean you can and then you can learn the hard way. But not trying to do that. You just surrender to the process and you let it, it's kind of like you're floating in a river. If you just surrender to it and you stop trying to swim against it, you just go with the current, you're going to get a much smoother ride, so to say. I actually want to give an example of how I did it in my mind. So when I was a kid, I used to love to play video games. I still love to play video games. But when I used to be a kid, I used to like to do it a lot more than I do now. So I knew in the mornings when I woke up that if I got up early, because my parents let me play before they got up in the mornings. So if I got up early enough, I'd be able to play video games for a while until they got up. So I'd be like, okay, I'll get up at 7 and they'll get up at 9 and that'll give me 2 extra hours. I'm super excited, whatever, because after they got up, then it was like they'd put a limit on how much I could play and whatever else. But for that period of time in those mornings, I remember how excited I was to wake up, be able to go over, turn the game on, play for a bit. And this sounds cliche, but it's really important to understand when you're learning how to trade. Um, there was this thing I did because at nighttime I would get so excited for the next morning, specifically in the summer, and maybe I had a snow day the next day or something, and I would get super duper excited about playing games the next morning. So it would lead me to kind of an issue, like a crossroads. I was super excited to play games. At the same time, being excited to make me play the games in the morning was making me not be able to sleep. So I kind of said this thing to myself over and over again that was, and it sounds stupid, but it really did help when I applied it to trading, was the faster I go to sleep, the faster I get to play the game because that'll be the faster I wake up. Um, and I kind of, when I did that and I understood that when I just surrendered and I just went to sleep and I stopped thinking about it as much and I just let myself do whatever, I would get the end result anyway faster than if I sat there all night, waiting for the morning to come to be able to hop on the game. So in the same light with trading, sorry if I'm rambling on a while. I've made this video a few times prior to this and there was technical errors, but the main point that I'm really trying to get across is when you just allow yourself to learn. You put a lot of work into learning, but you don't, try to brute force the markets. When you allow yourself to just show up, do what you're supposed to do, and get off the charts, you will have the most growth in trading. If you just surrender to what you're supposed to do, it'll save you a lot of money. It'll save you a lot of pain, suffering when it comes to the markets because the markets can beat you up, and it does not feel good when you break your rules and lose a whole bunch more money than you were supposed to, and it really does hurt. So if you can control yourself, if you can keep yourself disciplined, if you can put in the proactive work that it takes, if you want it bad enough, I can work with you, and I would love to teach you how I do what I do. And like I said, I'm not going to promise you that you're going to make $1 million or you're going to make any dollars, but what I will say is that you have a much better chance at learning. And the last thing I'm going to say that I really want to get through is that I've seen people who have traded for 8 years, 8 years. Granted, they didn't have the proper guidance. 8 years, and it took them 8 years to get their first payout, and then they blew the account right after that and they weren't profitable. I've seen people learn for 3 months of very diligent working, not doing it the brute force way and just giving into the market, taking it slowly. And I was amazed. I was amazed when I saw that one because that was insane. And I was really impressed. It took me roughly a year and a half. It took, the person I'm talking about 3 months. And then on the fourth month, he passed his first funded account, and then he took his first payout, and then he passed another one, and then he took another couple payouts, and then he passed another one, and now he's trading with 3 funded accounts, and he took another payout, another round of payouts, and whatever else, and he's been doing it for a while now since. And it really just takes as long as you make it take. So if you put in the work, if you put in the time, if you put in the dedication, this can come to you a lot faster. If you don't, if you're slacking, if you're half-assing it, if you're doing whatever, it won't. But I am not going to keep dragging on this video forever. The main points that I really wanted to get across was that you need to put in a lot of time. You need to want it bad enough. And I'm really asking that you do that because not only will it benefit you, it will actually it'll make all of this that I'm doing worth it. Because like I said, I don't need to make this boot camp. I don't need to do any of it. I can just go do other things if I really wanted to, and I'm doing it because I want to help people and I feel like it's the right thing to do. And I learned, and it took me a while, and if I could help one person learn how to trade, it would make all of it worth it because the feeling that I felt when I first had my 10K month, when I first got my payout, when I first started succeeding and tasting the success, it made it all worth it. And if I can get one person to feel that same way and to it'll all be worth it. And that's what I really want to get across. So thank you for watching. Sorry if I repeated myself a bunch. Like I said, I made this video a couple times, so hopefully I didn't do it too much. But yeah, I'm super psyched to get into the rest of the series. So I'm going to start pumping out some videos now. And yeah, I'll see y'all in the rest of the boot camp. So have a good one.